Well, ever since the postponement of the 2024 African Nations Championship was announced, the question that has been asked the most is if Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania will be ready come August 2025 when this tournament is eventually supposed to happen. Greetings, Clive Chaze is my name, here with yet another episode here on CK Sports, Football 256 to be particular. The channel is CK Sports, and of course we encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you are yet to subscribe. We encourage you to like our content and the videos if you enjoy the videos. We've really enjoyed the feedback from the questions that have been asked, the comments that have been posted in there, and of course the criticism. We don't take that for granted, because that is the only way we can always get better. But we continue to encourage you to share this content with your friends, with your colleagues who you feel that probably they need to hear some of the things that we have to say. And we will continue to try and bring you all the latest that we get to find out, that we get to know as we grow together as a family. But of course, the big question, of course, the elephant in the room is the postponed. First of all, it was the delayed, then later it became the postponed 2024 African Nations Championship, the CHAN competition that Uganda and Kenya and Tanzania are supposed to be hosting as we prepare for the big one, the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. And like I said earlier when I was beginning, that the question that has been asked the most is if the East African region will eventually be ready to host this competition. I'm one of those people who actually strongly believe that we will be ready come August 2025 when the competition is supposed to eventually get underway, because I'm one of those people who believe or feel that postponing this competition was actually a wake-up call for us, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. Postponing this competition was a wake-up call that there are so many things that we took for granted, but actually they were very important things, because from the onset, from the time we requested to host this competition, that should have been around August 2023 or September 2023, to until when CAF sat and they eventually said that yes, okay, this African region should host this competition. There are lots of things that CAF put in place, or there are lots of things that CAF requested that we should be able to put in place. Some of those we were able to put in place, the others we weren't able to put in place. Nature of us human beings. And probably when time came and the tournament was drawing closer, stuff was supposed to happen, and CAF realized that a few things that we requested for, the few things that we asked for, you've been able to deliver. What is the latest on some of the things here and there? Of course, we don't know some of the answers we are given, because we never sit in those meetings, but some of the few people we've talked to, we usually have that kind of mindset. It is CHAN, it will eventually happen. It is not the Africa Cup of Nations. The conditions are not that tight. I know that. I'm very sure if you closely follow Ugandan football, or if closely follow the different discussions that happen out there, most of these points have been raised by different people. It is just the CHAN. The conditions are not that tough. It's not the Africa Cup of Nations. It will pass. The tournament will happen, and all that. Probably what we forgot that yes, it is just CHAN to us, but it is no longer just a competition to the tournament organizers. They have standards that they expect from hosts. They have standards they want to uphold, and as hosts, we should have been able to meet those standards. So for me, it was a wake-up call that if we requested something from you, if CAF requested something from Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, and we've not been able to deliver what has been requested for, there are repercussions. And the repercussions are that the tournament can easily be cancelled, the tournament can easily be postponed, like it was postponed in this case, or the tournament can easily be given away to somebody else. Like I've been hearing reports actually that there are some nations from the Maghreb that actually didn't buy the idea of postponing, and they actually wanted to host this tournament. But of course, like we've said time and again, and like it has been very visible, CAF President Patrice Motsepe is a big fan of the East African region. he badly wants this tournament in the East African region, and you feel he'll do whatever it takes to see that this tournament happens in the East African region. So the onus is on us to wake up. Like I did say, postponement was a wake-up call. The onus is on us to wake up and do the needful, deliver on what we are supposed to deliver, and not treat the competition or the channel. It's just the chance, small competition, a few things will pass. They're asking for too much. I'm very sure we can go on without this and all that. That is not the case. That is not going to happen. The other feeling why, first of all, I feel that we will be ready come August. After this tournament was postponed, and like I said, that it is the wake-up call. It is a wake-up call in so many ways. One of those for me is the fact that there is a need to work together, especially with the stakeholders. I'm not talking about Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, because at the moment, remember that each country have its own local organizing committee. Now, we don't know what criteria was used when the local organizing committees in the different countries were constituted, but you feel that probably there are a couple of people who should have been part of the local organizing committee and they are not part of the local organizing committee. I'll give the example of Uganda, that probably there are ministries that you expect to be part of the local organizing committee from ministerial level, where you expect the minister or the permanent secretary, if not both of them, to be part of the local organizing committee, and a few other key players in their ministries to be part of the local organizing committee, and they're not part of the local organizing committee. And you feel that probably that in a way has also affected how this work is supposed to be done. For instance, if you have Kadiba as a training ground for the CHAN finals and the Africa Cup of Nations, and the challenges that Kadiba is facing in this case is the access route, the road that leads to Kadiba, and CAF has actually raised this issue. Of course, it is not an issue to be handled by FUFA, the federation. It is not an issue to be handled by the Ministry of Education and Sports. This is an issue that is purely supposed to be handled by the Ministry of Works and Transport. Meaning that if you don't have representation in these meetings from the Ministry of Works and Transport, probably they won't see the need or the importance of them acting with urgency to make sure that the access route that leads to the Kadiba Stadium is actually done to its completion, or done with the urgency that it deserves. Of course, the latest news we got that the road is being worked on, but probably for they feel that probably the swiftness should have been better if the issue was handled earlier and stuff like that. Of course, the other bit that CAF or FIFA or any other tournament owner takes serious is the issue of medical and stuff like that. And if you're going to have a local organizing committee, there's no reason why the Minister of Health, the permanent secretary of the ministry, are not part of the local organizing committee. This is not only in Uganda, but also those other countries. So like we've always been saying time and again, that the Africa Cup of Nations is here, the CHAN is here, but it is not a tournament that solely lies on the shoulders of the Federation of Uganda Football Association, the Federation of the Kenya Football Association, or the Federation of the Tanzania Footballer Federation, and the respective sports ministries. It is a competition that you would want to say that all hands on deck in different ministries, in different sectors of a country. So the postponement for me is a wake-up call, but also the need to realize that actually there are some people we need to be on the local organizing committee that probably initially weren't on the local organizing committee. Because when we are sitting in these meetings and we are discussing certain things, these people have to be part of these discussions, because the decisions that we are making, these people are supposed to implement. If they are going to implement, they need to be part of the decision making. They need to be part of the planning. And for me, I feel that probably that is one of the things that we needed to consider, and we need to reconsider during this period that the tournament was postponed. The other, I can say that for me, I feel that the remaining works that are supposed to be done as CAF required are manageable. Of course, in their communication, they gave the fact that the competition venues, together with the training grounds, weren't ready. Although they gave us compliments of working tirelessly to improve and upgrade these facilities, for me, which is a plus. Of course, Mandela National Stadium, we are seeing the works going on according to the MD Jamil Sewanyana. They are 95% ready because there were other things that they needed to improve, which they are working on. I visited the place and actually saw that the work is being done. So when it talks about the 95%, in the remaining 6 months, you want to put it to 6 months, I'll put it to 4 months or 5 months. That work can be finished within that remaining period of time. Chambogo Stadium as a training ground was scrapped off as we continue to prepare for the CHAN finals, because the timelines that were remaining weren't really sufficient enough for them to finish the work. You feel that with the remaining time, if finances allow and they are available, they can easily probably revisit the decision and work on the venue and have it ready as a training ground for the CHAN finals. When you go to Kenya, when you go to Kenya, the works that were being done, of course, you expect that in the remaining period of time, provided on how serious the Kenya Defense Forces are or how aggressive that they are, these works can actually be done and they can be complete in the remaining period of time. I recently visited Hoima City, where we do have the construction of the Hoima City Stadium. Of course, it is a facility that will be used during the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. And what I saw there is that you had works going on day and night. They are working in shifts. You have people working during the day, you have people working during the night. But this is a tournament that we are looking at to use during the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. But then I must say that the last time I visited Kasarani Stadium, it was in the evening, coming to about 6:37 p.m. And actually, workers were winding down. Everyone is getting ready to leave and go home. This was in early December, and it's a country that was given the deadline of 31st of December to deliver that facility alongside the Nyayo Stadium. You thought that probably with the pressure and the demands that came with them delivering the facility before the 31st of December, there was need for them to double or triple the effort so that they can be able to deliver. But that wasn't the case. People were working at their own pace and all that, and you feel that the remaining work is manageable, the time is sufficient, but then the onus is on us to make sure that we do what we are required to do in all the three countries to make sure that we deliver what we are supposed to deliver. A lot is at stake. Our reputation as the hosts of the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations is at stake. If you remember, we requested to host these tournaments as a precursor for the Africa Cup of Nations, to give us a picture of what it will take to host the Africa Cup of Nations. So if we don't do what we are supposed to do in the timelines that we are given to do what we are supposed to do, in a way, it already shows indicators of how we are going to handle the big one, which is the Africa Cup of Nations. The reason why there is need for us to take the hosting of the CHAN finals very seriously. And that starts with us making sure that what is required by CAF is actually ready, because that is going to be used to judge, that is going to be used to critique, that is going to be used to make decisions if East Africa is really ready or serious for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. And we've said this time and again that we've been in this situation before. 1996, when Kenya were given the opportunity to host the Africa Cup of Nations, they weren't able to do so because at the time there was a political turmoil and all that. They were supposed to host the 2018 CHAN finals. They weren't able to host the 2018 CHAN finals because the facilities that they were supposed to use for the competition were not ready. And here we are about a couple of years later, and we are talking about the same challenge of the facilities not being ready. And you feel that if we probably don't take this issue of facilities very seriously, we'll reach again 2027 or late 2026 when we are in a race against time to make sure that we are actually readying ourselves to have these facilities ready. Yet most of the facilities actually we have around, we are just supposed to be doing renovations on them. Yes, of course, we're also constructing new facilities. Tanzania is constructing a facility in Arusha. Of course, the Amani Stadium in Zanzibar, they will need to remove the artificial turf to plant natural grass. We are constructing a facility in Hoima. Kenya constructing a facility in Talanta. But we already have facilities that we can't start with because we are just renovating. the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Tanzania, the Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi, the Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi. You already have the Mandela National Stadium. So we have starting points, and of course the training grounds also have to be uplifted to the level that a CAF requires. So you feel that these things need to be done not to affect the reputation of us hosting the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, not to put ourselves in a situation where CAF starts having doubts and second thoughts about our abilities to host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. So for me, I feel, yes, to answer the question, we will be ready come 20 August 2025. Without a doubt, confident, 100% sure we are going to be ready to host the championship of the African Nations Championship come 2025. If our leaders, the stakeholders, those who are supposed to be the key players in making sure that we are ready for the tournament actually do what they are supposed to do to make sure that we are ready to host that tournament. That's what we had for you in this episode. I remain Clive Chaze, that just to encourage you to subscribe if you're enjoying our content and you are yet to subscribe. We have more people watching our content who are not subscribed than actually those who have subscribed. We enjoy the comments, we enjoy the criticism, because it's like I did say, it helps us get better, but also the likes, because they give us the confidence that you actually love the work we are doing, and you give us the motivation and courage to keep on doing what that we are doing. And remember to share, yes, with your different colleagues in your circles, for people to get to know a thing or two. Catch you again in the next episode.